Is that right? Guys, if you didn't know, this is my spare bedroom, and it's also like a really cool studio. I wanted to share with you a couple things that I do when I mix, no matter what the genre is. There are two major things that I do when I'm mixing, and one of them is in regards to time effectiveness, and two is in regards to quality effectiveness. And the first one has to do with sort of a creative side of it, and the second one has to do with sort of a service side of it. So the first thing that I do every time I mix is just limit the time that you spend on the mix when you first start. So what I'll do is I'll get the session set up, I'll pull it up, I'll get everything routed and labeled and all nice and kosher as far as operating the mix, getting everything going. And then what I'll do is I'll set a timer for 45 minutes. And this is huge. This is sort of a mind trick that you can and should use for multiple reasons. But what I'll do is I'll set a timer for 45 minutes and I'll tell myself that client is showing up here in 45 minutes and this needs to be ready to play. I am effectively looking for any problems that there are, any clips that might be too hot, because there's that's another video. But the main point is don't spend 8 hours on this mix. Spend 8 hours spread across a couple days. The first thing you should do is spend that first 45 minutes getting the most crucial parts of that mix right. And then what you'll do is you'll stop, run off a bounce or a mix or whatever you want to call it, and then leave this spot that you've been mixing in. Go take a break, get some coffee, make some popcorn. Those are my two favorite things to do when I'm mixing or working on music or just living and breathing. And then I will go sit in my car, which is one of my favorite places to listen to music because I'm super familiar with how the music sounds in the car. And I'm familiar with the stereo, I'm familiar with the songs that I listen to. So I will go in my car and I will listen to just some records that I love. Records that I know how they sound. I know the low end, I know the drums, I know the mix. I'm super familiar with it, and it's awesome. After that, I will look up a song that you can use as like a reference, and I will listen to that mix. And after I listen to that, I'm pulling up my bounce that I did in 45 minutes, and I will listen to that right after the reference. What that does is that gives you some context. What I'll do is I'll pull my phone out, I'll open the notes app, and I'm gonna take the immediate things that come to me. 808's too low, kick drum's too low, sound effects need to come down, the EQ, whatever the details are, type them into your notes, be as specific as possible, and then come back to your mix and pull those notes out and address them one by one, and don't do anything else in the mix. What you want to do is you just want to be checking off problems and solving them. I'll run another bounce off and I'll repeat that process. Now the point of doing this is to not wind up in a situation where you're spending 8 hours on a mix and you think it's rocking, you think it's great and it sounds really good in the room and it sounds really good through the speakers, and then you go to another set of speakers and you're like, what happened? This is not what I did. Like, this is different. You want to avoid that by starting right off the bat, checking other speakers, checking in another environment, checking on headphones, checking on earbuds, whatever you need to be doing. Do that sooner than later so that you're not wasting all that time and wearing your ears out. That's another crucial part of that, is giving your ears a break, going into a different environment. You get it, right? Okay. So the second part of this, that was the creative. That was sort of the creative part of it. Hold on. Okay. So the second part of this is the service side of it. When you're in a position with your mix where you're like stoked about it, what I will do is I will take that bounce, I'll make it nice and loud, and I'll send it to the client and I'll say, hey, check this out. I've been pretty deep on this mix for a little bit and I'm feeling good about it. However, I would love to get your feedback on it. I bet there's some things that you're gonna hear that I'm not hearing. I just want to get your perspective and some ideas from you on what I can do to improve this mix from this point forward. And that is a huge move. and for multiple reasons. One, because you're getting the clients involved, which is going to happen regardless, but you're asking them for feedback, and they're going to like that. They're going to be pumped to hear what you've done. They're going to give you notes, and the notes are probably, regardless of whether the right thing or not in your opinion, they're probably just going to give you a perspective that you didn't have because you've just been in your own world. Unless, of course, they've been sitting over your shoulder the whole time. When I do this, this is one of my favorite parts, because every time I do this, the feedback I get is awesome. These are notes that I definitely didn't think, or sometimes it's like, bring the drums up. And I'm like, wow, I'm a drummer. I had them up, but you want them up more? I'm down, let's go. And you bring them up, and you're like, wow, this actually, or down, whatever the note is. It's usually a fresh perspective of something that you didn't think of, or you didn't think would be the right move, and ultimately you do it, and then you check it out, and it probably was better. When it comes to being effective with mixing, doing stuff like that is huge, because that saves a lot of time. I mean, if you're getting feedback from someone, it might as well be the person who's paying you to do it, the person who created this music in the first place. And that is gold. Once I started doing that, it cuts a bunch of time out, and you're getting positive feedback from the client, and they're giving you a better perspective outside of whatever's going on in this thing. So, one, don't burn yourself out. 45 minutes, then get out of that environment, go down to your car, listen in a different environment on different speakers, and listen to other music. Number two, send it off. Tell them it's not 100% done, but that you want their perspective. You want some feedback from them, and to get some ideas from them. Do that. They're gonna love it. It's gonna help you out. Do me a favor and tell me what you do. Like, do you do this? Is this something that only, I'm sure other people have to do this, or at least, to some degree. What do you do? What are your principles that you do every time you mix, or what are some themes to your mixing process? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear it and read. I will respond to you. I would genuinely love to know. If you like this thing, me talking about mixing, give the video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I'm thinking about trying to do a video like this once a week, or once every couple weeks, or something like that, and just kind of giving you some feedback and some advice on how I'm mixing, and some things that I do that help make me effective when I'm mixing a song, or whatever it is. And just let me know. If you think this is cool, then I'll keep doing it. I love, obviously, here we are doing this thing. I love it. You love it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.